what happens to basic health. After that, you begin to look at what Dr. Makali has basically explained. Are the people in a position right now, first of all, to manage themselves by basically paying for the basic services?
Kisii Senator Richard Onyonka has expressed deep concerns over the state of Kenya's economy, citing corruption and political conflict as a major obstacles to the national progress. Speaking during a Citizen TV Daybreak show, Onyonka painted in bleak picture of the country's economic situation, warning that corruption has significantly weakened financial stability and hindered development projects. According to the senator, corruption continues to drain public resources, making it difficult for the country to implement key projects that would drive economic growth. He noted that mismanagement of funds, bribery, and embezzlement within government institutions have led to the loss of billions, money that could have been used to improve infrastructure, healthcare, and education. The persistence of this vice, he argued, has left many Kenyans struggling with the high cost of living, unemployment, and deteriorating public services. Onyonka also pointed out that political conflicts among leaders are further trailing economic progress, for he noted that whenever the political class is engaged in dispute and power struggles, the focus shifts away from governments and service delivery. As a result, critical decisions are delayed, projects stall, and investors' confidence dwindles. This, he warned, has a long-term consequences for the economy as business become hesitant to invest in an unstable political environment. The senator also expressed concern over the difficulties President Ruto is facing in addressing these challenges. He acknowledged that the president is under immense pressure to find solutions to the economic problem affecting ordinary Kenyans. He, however, noted that as long as corruption remains rampant and political division persists, it will be difficult for the government to implement effective policies that bring real change. Kenya's economy has been under strain in recent years, with many citizens grappling with the rising taxes, inflation, and weakening shilling. The cost of living has skyrocketed, making it harder for households to afford basic necessities. At the same time, the government borrowing has increased, raising concerns about the growing debt burden. While the administration has introduced measures aimed at stabilizing the economy, such as tax reform and austerity measures, the effectiveness of these strategies remains in question.
All of it as a whole, you look at its totality. Right. What are the sectors that help any country? In Kenya, our sector, traditionally we have relied on agriculture as a basic sector to maintain people's very existence. What has happened to our industries? Which policy does the government have? What are you importing? What are you exporting? So if you look at the whole narrative and then come finally to what Makali Mulu has said, yep, you bring in Kenya's ingredient, which I consider to be 50% of our very own existence, and that is corruption. Corruption affects everything in our economy today, everything. The issue he's talking about, many people in government right now are doing businesses in government. As a result, in fact, many of the wars and the fights taking place within government are all about those deals. Who was given what, who is supplying what. And you see, Sammy, what happens when the big boys take over these deals, somebody ends up, for example, doing a deal for 16 or, let me make it small, 800 million. Most of that money, they never keep it here. Most of it is taken out. It's in Dubai. You hear the things people are buying in Dubai, South Africa, other countries. So our country is, the person, Sammy, I really pity today is President William Ruto. Why? Either he doesn't see, or is unable to detect what the problem is, or is unable to come up with a solution to those problems. And then I want to give the last item, which is non-economic, but which creates the economic mess we are in, and that is the politics. You see, if you have a country where immediately elections take place, the next event you find is that people get into campaign mode. Why are they getting into campaign mode? The pre-election agreements which they had, usually they collapse. Once they have collapsed, then what happens? You find now the political class begins to quarrel amongst itself. Once the political class begins to quarrel amongst itself, Sammy, there's nobody who works. So in reality, without me having the exact figures from the Kenya Data Bureau, the truth is the economy shrinks. You have fewer people who are now controlling the economy. You can look at housing. You can look at production of whether it's construction materials. You can look at whether it is gypsum. You look at all the economic drivers. We call them economic drivers, all of them. And you go deep inside to find who supplies the steel. So we are slowly beginning to create monopolies around the Kenyan economic market. These monopolies are soon going to start controlling the market. They now become what some people have been calling the oligarchs. We are actually creating oligarchs in our country of a few individuals who are going to be controlling 90% of the sector. And then Kenyan consumers are just going to be consumers. We are going to become like this, what do you call, like a supermarket. Right now, Kenya wants to import everything. Soon we'll not be producing beef. Soon we'll not be producing anything. We're importing mutumba clothes, that's what we are. We pretend like we are coming with the policy solutions on how we can start producing our own goods which are competitive within the region. That is not happening. Our cost of production are always high because of cost of power, because of cost of fuel, because of our bad roads. I mean, it's a combination of something that needs somebody to deeply sit down and evaluate what the problem of our country is and methodically fix those problems. The feeling I have now, we are not methodical. We look at something, we run to it. I mean, we are struggling with the Shashi thing. We leave that. You have a problem whereby we have left now university funding. We are coming to help. You are seeing students who are not able to get the help money. Their parents are vulnerable. System. You should have thought about it. What are the consequences? I mean, why is it that we make decisions, then we have to go, then the courts have to tell us you are unconstitutional, then we rush back to go to the short-term basis mechanisms. In other words, what happened to Vision 2030? So you're not for me, there are certain fundamentals that are okay. Majority of our fundamentals are actually messed up.